turned on, Austin?
Please have a seat. First of all, welcome to St. Michael Catholic High School. And since you're in a Catholic school, we begin all of our public meetings with a prayer. So let's begin. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Lord, we thank you for this day. We ask for your safety, continued safety on our students, our families, and all those people affected by the coronavirus. Please help this virus to end soon so that we can regain our normal routines. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. So we want to welcome all of you here. I want to welcome Archbishop Rody and Superintendent Byrd and members of the Archdiocese and the media and the press for this wonderful day for us. It's going to be a big day for us. I want to begin by two preliminary comments. I want to begin by thanking Scott Phelps, our outgoing football coach. He was the founder of our program. We started that first year with 99 students. And a friend of mine who was a principal said, well, how many years before you start your football team? And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you can't start a football program with only 99 students. I said, we're going to start in year one. He said, you're crazy. But we had the right guy. We had 13 kids that came out who were eligible to play. I think 4 of them had played football before. Then we had 5 kids who had transferred over who were ineligible, but they practiced with us the entire time. Coach Phelps was tough, uncompromising, no excuses, and we got better every year. And the boys responded, and each year our program became more competitive and our numbers grew. Coach came to see me early in the coronavirus, and he said, you know, Faustin, I've been doing this for 38 years. My youngest son, Jack, is graduating this year from St. Michael. Renee and I are going to be empty nesters for the first time in a long, long time. And that freshman class that I began with back in 2016 is graduating this year. So we just think this is the right time for me to retire. And we decided to think about that for a few days. And when we talked the next few days later, I asked him if he would be our assistant athletic director, and he's accepted that. So I'm very happy that Coach Phelps is still with us. But I'm also very indebted to him for what he's begun here. In a very way, he was not just the founder of our football program, but our entire athletic program. So thank you, Coach. Second, this is really a great time to be a Cardinal. Enrollment has grown each year from 99 that first year to 190 in year 2, then 290, then 320, and we think next year somewhere around 340. It's been a real privilege to me to see this school grow, to build traditions, to build a network of support and friendships throughout Baldwin County. Our athletic program has grown too. That first year we had 7 JV teams, 6 teams and the cheerleaders, and today we have 19 varsity teams, numerous JV teams, and even a middle school football team. And I give Coach Knapstein, our athletic director, credit for that, and our coaches and our student body. And they've gotten more competitive too. This year that we shut down in March, we were having a pretty good year athletically. The boys cross country team won the school's first state championship. Our boys swim team were state runners up. Our volleyball team made the super regionals. Both of our basketball teams, men and women, won their area, and our men went all the way to the final 8. Our boys soccer program, both of them, girls and boys, were ranked in the top 5 when they shut the season down. So it's been fun to see our kids becoming more and more competitive. Also, it's fun right now for our athletic program. We started a major capital project to build athletic facilities. Here with the campaign last year, we were able to raise $5.1 million in pledges, and we're adding each piece along the way as we go. So we've already purchased 40 acres of adjacent land. Sorry about that, Archangel. 40 acres of adjacent land next to us, so we now have 80 acres. That was kind of our first piece of the athletic development. And then out back here on Holy Thursday, last April, we broke ground for a new field house. It's going to be a 10,000 square foot facility with a weight room, coaches' offices, locker rooms, a multimedia room, physical training room, storage, and then even out behind that is a new practice field, and they just laid the sod for that last week. And our future phases include a new football and soccer stadium, a baseball stadium, a concessions pavilion, and sidewalking and additional parking. So we're kind of excited about the future of our athletic program here. We're here today to announce our next coach, but this morning I'm going to announce two coaches. When Scott resigned, we considered both internal and external candidates to this position. But as Paul and I began to think about where we are now and where we will be shortly, it made more and more sense for us to go the internal route. Pandemic creates a lot of uncertainty, such as when we can begin practicing this summer or when the season will start. And it became clear to us that an outside guy would be at a real disadvantage, not knowing the players, the personalities, or their strengths and weaknesses. In contrast, if we pick an internal candidate, we can help make a seamless transition to the next coach, and we're going to start the ground running with our current players. So I'm happy to announce today that our interim coach is Mr. Paul Knapstein, to my right. He has played or coached football most of his life. He grew up in Chattanooga, where he played high school ball at Notre Dame. He was recruited by several large and small schools, and he chose Rose College to further his education and his playing career. Upon graduating, he coached at Memphis Catholic, both as an assistant and as a head coach. He was an assistant at the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee, so he has college experience. And he was an assistant at John Carroll High School in Birmingham. Locally here, he coached 6 years at Bayside Academy, where he was the offensive coordinator, and later at McGill-Tulane High School. Since the beginning of St. Michael, he's also been my right arm in the founding of the school as athletic director and assistant principal. I know that he's a good man, but he's also tough, competitive, and smart. I think that he'll lead us well. Please welcome our interim football coach, Mr. Paul Knapstein.
I'd like to thank Mr. Weber, and I'd also like to echo his words about thanking Coach Phelps. None of this would have been possible with our football program had he not started it. It's been a few years since I've coached football, but I think once you start coaching football, you never really stop. I still look at things very analytically. I'm excited about getting to work with our team and our coaching staff, and I'm also excited about what our possibilities are for the future here at St. Michael. You know, Coach Phelps has laid a great foundation, and we're looking forward to building off of that and to continue that hard work. And make no mistake, we understand we're going a young program, we're moving into 4A. We're going to have to work extremely hard to keep getting better. And I know our families, our kids, and our staff are ready to do that. But thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank you, Paul. And when I asked him to be the interim coach, he said, I have one condition. And I said, what's that, Paul? He says, I am not going to be a placeholder here. I fully intend to have a competitive football team. And I said, I think that's what our players and our families want, so I'm welcoming Paul to this interim position. So, why interim? So about 3 summers ago, through a friendship with a family here, we were introduced to Philip and Tiffany Rivers and their then 8 and now 9 children. They came to tour the school and spent some time with us. And after the visit, Philip asked Paul and I if he came back next year, would we like him to host a clinic for a few days? I said, Philip, let me think about that for a few milliseconds. Yes, thank you so much. And he's done that. He's done that the last 2 years. And over the course of these last 2 years, we've built a friendship with him and his family. When Coach Phelps retired earlier this spring, and as Paul and I considered our options, we decided to ask Philip if we could name an interim coach, would he be willing to be named the future coach of St. Michael upon the completion of his NFL career. And we were thrilled when he said yes. We don't know a timetable. He's the starting quarterback for the Colts this season, but whenever his career is over, that January, February, and his last season, he'll be here for spring practice that spring. Everyone in this room understands Philip's football credentials, and obviously we're excited about that and having him here for those reasons. But let me tell you 2 reasons why I'm even happier to have Philip as our next football coach. Philip grew up the son of an Alabama Hall of Fame football coach, his dad, Steve Rivers. There's a world of difference, obviously, between the NFL and high school, but Philip has lived that life as a member of that family, as a boy, helping his dad set up for games, going to practices, talking strategy. With all the other possible opportunities in front of Philip upon his retirement, the fact that he's choosing to be a high school coach gives me great confidence and joy. Also, he and Tiffany are devout Catholics and have raised their family that way. I believe he's going to be a tremendous influence on the lives of our young men here and their faith life. He brings an infectious optimism and enthusiasm to whatever he does, and I think he's going to really advance our culture here to be a tremendous influence for good. Our mission is to build scholars, leaders, and disciples of Jesus Christ, and I really believe he's going to help us advance our mission. Ladies and gentlemen, the future head coach of St. Michael Catholic High School, Mr. Philip Rivers.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Happy to be here today. I want to first also say thanks to Coach Phelps. Got to know him a little bit the last couple summers here, and he's done a heck of a job setting the foundation for the future of the program, and also happy for Paul and the staff and what they're going to do moving forward here with the program. I know they're excited, and Coach and I go way back when he was at John Carroll. He was at John Carroll when I was playing at Athens High way back in a playoff game in November many years ago. So little did we know that connection there on that field that Friday night that we'd be standing here today. It's a special day for me and my family, really. You know, I knew I was going to get a little emotional. You know, I've been able to, you know, I've lived my childhood dream. I've had two childhood dreams, and one was to play in the NFL, and I've been able to do that now, going on my 17th season, and still love that and excited to carry on that dream. And the other is to be a high school football coach. As my dad did. So it's an exciting day. I mean, it really is. I'm going, wow, how blessed am I to be able to live both of those out. And one on the tail end and one in the beginning stages. This school, I think, is a very special place. I'm learning more and more about it. Obviously, I think Mr. Weber, as a principal and leading this school, has done a heck of a job in seeing the growth and seeing the faith-filled families and staff and teachers and that are in the community. It just seems like such a special place, and I'm excited one day to be a part of that, and hopefully for a long, long time. Certainly will be my intention. We'll need to win a bunch of football games, but it'll be my intention to be here for a long time. You know, I have a son. I have two boys. Mr. Weber mentioned all 9. I got 7 girls and 2 boys. So the girls are excited to be here one day at school, and the boys are as well. Obviously, my experience playing for my dad was special, so I want to be able to share that same experience with my boys. I have one that's a 6th grader and one that'll be a 3rd grader, so they're not too far away. But not only them. I mean, it's just I have a passion for young people and young men and what you can do in this game, in this sport, more than just the sport. So certainly excited to coach my sons, but more than that, all the future boys that come through the program, both with my boys and hopefully long after my boys have moved on. But I know Paul and the staff will do a heck of a job moving forward. Obviously, moving up to 4A and seeing the progress they've made in the last couple of years. It was fun to try to check out highlights and keep up with the scores from way out in California the last couple seasons. But really important, too, for me to be at a Catholic high school. You know, as I began, I wouldn't even call it a search, but as I began looking to my second, post-playing career, thinking about where, not so much location, but what kind of school you're looking for. St. Michael embodies everything that I was looking for. And so I've always tried to live this as a person, and I've always tried to live it in my career. But I mean, our program will be faith, family, and football, and it will be built on the faith, and family will be very important. And then we'll work like crazy at the football part, and when it's football season, and then I'll encourage the boys to get to the gym, and then let it be faith, family basketball, and then let it be faith, family baseball, and whatever that is for the boys and other sports that they play. So. Super excited. I could ramble on and on, but I'll stop and take any questions you have.
Coach, welcome to South Alabama. I know you know a lot about this state. When you walked in, I said, there's a guy that's taken a lot of punishment in the NFL. You look great. You have one more season left in you, maybe two. What's the timetable to say goodbye to the National Football League?
Yeah, well, I truly think, I said this last year, I think it's a 1 year at a time deal at this point. When you get to 38 and you've played as long as I have, and also, I'm under a 1 year contract. So I think you just take it 1 year at a time. I've expressed publicly, the Colts have shared that sentiment too, that we hope it's more than 1 year. But I think it's 1 year at a time and go from there. I'm thankful to be healthy. Family's still very supportive to continue on. I love playing. And when that time does come in, though, you'll get the same passion, the same work ethic, the same desire that I've put into that, my playing career. We poured into this school and this community and this football team. And so when that time comes, I'll be excited.
We were somewhat mystified as to how you ended up down here. You did the two camps. There's got to be some kind of backstory as to how you found Fairhope, Alabama.
No, definitely. I'll spare all the details, but we developed a friendship with a family down here, and we always went every summer over to in between Destin and Panama City. So we had started doing that, and we had begun kind of thinking, where are we going to live one day? We wanted to move back to the South as our final landing spot, and we kind of put on the map anywhere from Knoxville, Tennessee to the ocean. And as we began kind of visiting with that family and developing that friendship, we met Mr. Weber and Paul and the school, and I thought, gosh, I love doing camps and things. It's just a couple-hour drive away. Let's do a camp one summer. And then we did the camp the following summer, and that just kind of developed into a lot of conversation. And again, seeing as Mr. Weber said, the vision for the school really fits with really all we try to do within our own family. So just seemed like the perfect fit. It's in Alabama, although it's on the other end from where we grew up. So it's still somewhat close to family, close to where we spend a lot of time at the beach. And as the days went by, we just felt more and more like God had a hand in this, and kind of laid it in our lap from a standpoint of location, school with the same vision, a young football program, and as Mr. Weber said, as time went, it made sense. It was the right fit, and we're super thankful and excited.
What makes you want to jump right back into something after a long and distinguished professional career without actually taking that?
Yeah, I think a little bit, it's probably both. My wife could probably answer that better than I can, but I think I do know myself, and she knows that when that next season rolls around, I'll probably be going crazy not to be a part of a team. I think that part of the game I love so much is being a teammate, although I won't necessarily be a teammate, being part of a team, being part of a teammate with a coaching staff, and being part of a community, and having setting goals and doing all those things. I just feel like, shoot, let's keep going, keep it right on going. And again, I'll have my oldest son's a sixth grader, or will be a sixth grader, so he'll be soon entering the program, and I just look forward to it. I do also know that coming from the NFL, it will be different, but it's not. It's more than the game. It's more than the game. You have these 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old young men that you want to continue to help be an extension of their dads at home and their parents, and mold them into being the man that they're growing into be, both in their faith, in their schoolwork, as football players, the virtues and all the disciplines and toughness and all that. I mean, we're going to be tough. It'll be tough and and passionate, and we're gonna play to win, no doubt about it. But I also know that for most of these boys, their high school football experience will be their last football experience. So you want it to be great. You want it to be great. You want them to learn and grow and deal with adversity and all those things. But also when they leave, going, I'm so glad I played football. You know, you want them to have that experience. And then along the way, hopefully we win a bunch of games and win a state championship and do all those things that will certainly be talked about and be part of our ultimate goals. But it's bigger than that, and I look forward to that and having those types of relationships and seeing these young men grow.
Is there any plans for you to, you talked about getting to see your dad coach, and that was one of your goals, to be a coach like him. Is there any plans for you and him to actually coach together at all? Is that in the...
No, I mean, that's not necessarily a plan or in the works by any means, but certainly as this thing gets going, if he's willing and wants to be around and be a part of it, it would be awesome. It would be awesome. I know he's looking forward to seeing his grandsons play, and he still has never fully gotten away from high school football. He finds his way over to games around town that some of his assistants now are head coaches that are coaching. So he keeps up all across the state. Every week we usually talk about the scores and who beat who and who won. And it's funny for me because I always picture all these schools, especially the ones in the north that I knew. I picture them like I remember them, right? 20 years ago. And obviously they've all changed and grown, and the same coaches aren't there and the same players aren't there, but you picture how it felt for you on those Friday nights. And there's something special about Friday night football and those days, and the kids wearing their jerseys to school or whatever they do these days, and the pregame meals and the last walkthrough. I mean, those things, being able to see it in high school, college, and pro, it's no different in the sense of it's a big deal wherever you are. And if to a high school football team, that's as big of a deal as it is. And so I've always said, like I said, those kids it'll be their last stop in football. Those are some of my favorite memories still. 4 years at NC State and going on 17 years in the NFL, and some of my favorite football memories are still, at Athens High School. The locker room, dad stirring the Gatorade after a long two-a-day practice, and all those things. I mean, multiple memories that you have from those days. So I know how special it is, and what a football program, along with all the other sports, what it can mean to the school. And so look forward again to seeing it progress. As we said, Coach Phelps laid the foundation, and Coach Knapstein is going to do a heck of a job with the staff. And then we'll, at some point when the time is right, we'll keep it rolling.
I know when you were coming up, and go back 20 years ago, most of this state was watching your success at NC State and then in the pros and going, how did Alabama and Auburn let him get away? Has that kind of bothered you a long time with the folks back home in Athens? What was the backstory there? Yeah, a little bit.
Alabama, some of you may can remember back, Brody Kroll was an awesome high school quarterback, and he was a year or two behind me. But obviously his dad was a heck of a player, and I think Alabama already had him nailed down. And so my year, actually, they didn't sign a quarterback that year. Not that they would have wanted me if they were. But so Alabama didn't take a quarterback that year, and Auburn recruited me hard. They also Jason Campbell was a part of that same class, who obviously they had an undefeated season while he was there, and he had a good career in the NFL. But so we were both going there. I wasn't so much scared of the competition as it was they mentioned the word tight end to me, and that made me a little nervous. And had I been a tight end at Auburn, I would have been. This would have been my 17th year coaching, probably, had I gone that route. So no, I just really wanted to play quarterback, and NC State was the first school that recruited me. And there's something about that school that wants you and wants you to be their guy. And so that was the first school that recruited me. They'd just beaten Florida State in 1998 or 99. Torrey Holt was there then, and so it was kind of that up-and-coming school, and it felt like home, and it turned out to be a great place for our family.
Provided you have a semi-normal NFL season this year, how much will you pay attention to St. Michael football from afar?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely pay attention. I'm sure Paul and I will exchange plenty of text messages, and and conversations as it goes, and love to get updates. And like I said, Friday nights I'll be following along and pulling hard for the team and their success this year. So, and I've done that even last year. Seeing a bunch of points that they scored, and really a lot of games. They were in a lot of football games this year that were close, and that just tells you in an early on in a program, as competitive as they were. And I know the outcome in the win column isn't where we want it to be yet, but gosh, seeing a bunch of points scored and how competitive in some of these games, late in the games, is a good sign for the program moving forward.
Knowing that you've got this dream job waiting at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, how do you think that's going to affect you in the dream job that you have now in the NFL?
No, I don't think it will. I think more than anything, it probably there's peace of mind there that I guess that there's not the I guess there's always unknowns in life, right? You never know. Be where we are, as we've often said in our locker rooms. Just be where we are right here. We have this time right now. So there are always unknowns, but in the big picture, I think peace of mind and just kind of knowing for our family that this is going to be our next stop when playing is done is a good feeling. But I don't think in any way this pulls me here one way or the other from a time standpoint. I think let it all play out the way it will. I know Mr. Weber feels comfortable with that, and shoot. I know Paul's excited to get going, get back into football mode a little bit, and so there is no necessarily constraint. I see it as nothing but a positive for both, certainly for our family, and I think for the school as well, to know the direction moving forward.
We've had 18 to 22 NFL players consistently in the last 10, 15 years from Mobile and Baldwin counties. A lot of them trying to get to you. Guys like DJ Fluker, Julio Jones. Are you familiar with how talent-rich this area is that you're moving into? Do you know a lot of those guys? You've studied them? Or?
Yeah, I mean the two you mentioned, I certainly know. DJ Fluker was a teammate of mine in San Diego, and no way not to know Julio and the success he had both at Alabama and with the Falcons. So yeah, and I know there's many more. I knew of the talent down here when I was playing in high school. We didn't make it far enough to see the South Alabama teams in the postseason, but you always knew of the schools and the talent that was down here. So I know that's probably done nothing, but it's continued, obviously, as you mentioned with the NFL players. But just in general, even these, a couple of camps we've done here, seeing some of the boys that have rolled through, and just in general, I know the competitiveness and the level of football that they play down here, and really all across the state, is up there at the top in the country. So that's exciting. I mean, I think the boys will hear me, and I'm sure these coaches already talk a lot about competing, always compete. And so we're going to compete like crazy amongst our own guys, and we're going to compete whichever 10 are on the schedule, and hopefully some after that. And we're going to always compete. And so I think having that type of talent and the type of schools that are in this area and around does nothing but elevate the program and the guys' focus each and every year.
You touched on it a little bit, but how imperative was it for you to coach at a Catholic high school if you were going to get into coaching?
Yeah, I think I kind of went round and round, because I just, there's so many restrictions now at the public schools of what you can do faith-based wise, as we all know. So I think I went round and round because Dad coached at a public high school for his whole career, and that's where I attended there at Athens, and it was great. The experience was great. We prayed before games and all those things, but I think ultimately this was really the dream in totality, to be able to have it all at a Catholic high school from the faith standpoint and the football standpoint. And because I just think they're so intertwined when it comes to, I'm speaking now just of, both my approach to the game and how it intertwines with a football program. I mean, I just think, again, the characteristics, the traits, the disciplines, the virtue that comes with our faith, to grow in our faith, they're directly parallel with football. And so seeing those intersect, again, with family being a big part of that, is just exciting to me. It's exciting to me to think about having a saint of the day, before you go to practice, and having there's just all kind of ideas I have about those things, and to talk about that with your players, and to have that be be at the center of everything we do. We're going to talk about being tough and trusting each other and the team and so many things, competing and all that, and at the center of that is going to be our faith. And being at a Catholic house school allows you to do that, and that's the only way I know. So that's how we're going to do it, and it's going to be, and that's going to be for our whole staff. The boys will feel that throughout. It's going to be a heck of an environment. It's going to be a heck of an environment, and I say that humbly and confidently, just because the vision I feel that I have, and been blessed with a passion and desire to coach, and with what I know about the staff and the people that are a part of this school, that it's going to be a program and part of all the other athletic teams that will be something that this community will be proud of.
I have a question for Mr. Weber.
Sure.
I mean, obviously his talent is a great lure, but how did you lure a guy? I mean, I know you talked a little bit about it, about just his vision and lined up with you guys, but he's making $25 million this year. Was there
Yeah, I told them we probably couldn't match his contract next year. I think it would be wrong of me to say that I had a lot to do with that. I really think, we're people of faith. I really think this was a combination of what Philip was looking for and what the Holy Spirit was doing here at the school and in his family's life. And we really kind of got together by accident. Philip was very austere in his retelling of the story, Randy's questions about how he ended up here, but it's a wonderful story, and you can only see the hand of God in that if you know all the details of that story. So that's my answer. We liked each other instantly when we got talking about things. I loved his vision of football and what he wanted to do with football as a head coach. It's very consistent with the mission of our school. So, we were thrilled. We didn't know when this would happen. We had no timetable on this. He really doesn't know when his career is over. We don't know when his career is over. So we just talked about this as kind of an abstract idea. And then when there was the opening, and we're trying to think about, how to do this, do you bring in an outside coach and then in a couple of years maybe ask him to step aside because this guy might want to be the coach? We didn't think that was the right thing to do. So it just all kind of worked out, and I really see the hand of God in that. Do we have any other questions?
Just for the record, I understand that you're not going to be staying in an apartment here. That you're laying down stake, and your family and everybody, you're going to be here for a long time. Huh?
Yeah, well, that's our hope. Certainly, you can dream. I mean, like I said, I'm living those dreams. So certainly, things change, obviously. But yeah, my dream would be here for a long time, and long time. See grandchildren come up through the school. Would be my dream. So obviously you never know, but yeah, that's certainly the intention. This isn't just a little stop on the side. It's a commitment for our family for hopefully what's a long time.
Did you give much consideration to calling it an NFL career this year before signing with the Colts? Obviously you're moving on to a different team, but
well, I think when you get to this point, like I said, you're year to year. I think this was probably, really maybe even the last 2 years were the first time after the season where we even had some of those conversations. I don't think it ever got to the point of, all right, I think this is it. I don't think it ever got there, but just kind of talking through it, and very quickly, both years, it was, no, I still love to play. I have the passion to play. Again, our family is still all on board. And if somebody wants me to play, then let's go do it. Thankful that it ended up being Indy. have a good relationship with both the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the tight end coach. All three of them were in San Diego back a handful of years ago. So that comfortableness with them and knowing from a scheme standpoint and gave me a lot of peace there. And then it's just it's a team kind of right there on the cusp of going to the next level. I had a lot of respect for them from afar. We played them last year, and so excited to kind of for the change up. Our family's excited, and then we'll see from there. After this season, we'll go from there.
And just in case we don't get a one-on-one, and this is our final, can you give us an update of what you think about the NFL season? When do you think it will be played? When do you want to play? And what's the chessboard in Philip Rivers' house look like as far as that?
Yeah, the chessboard is a little bit crazy right now, but I think it's best. I know there's been some statement from the NFL as best is for players and coaches alike not to really speculate of what may or may not happen. I don't think anybody knows at this point. Obviously, the schedule came out yesterday with a full 16-game slate scheduled as usual. So I think as players, and really in any of us in life, right, is you can control what you can control, and that'll be another thing that our players will get tired of hearing about, whether it be weather or wind or lightning and all those things that will come about in the years to come as far as who are playing, who's not playing, who's injured, all those things you can't control. And much like this, so I think best to just be prepared for it to be how it's set up until it's not. So that's what we're doing as a team. We're working hard, preparing for a regular training camp and a regular season, and until it's not. And then when it's not, we'll adjust then.
Growing up around Friday night football, what's the biggest piece of advice your dad gave you into going into coaching, or did he say, are you crazy for even wanting to become a high school coach?
Yeah, well, gosh, there's probably too many, to pick one thing. I just remember the one thing he would always say, even when I was a young boy, was if you're going to do something, do it all the way. And, that meant from mowing the grass, we always bagged it. We didn't mulch it. We always bagged it. So it was after a couple trips, you knew that bag was heavy. Don't mow an extra trip and let some of it leak out. You go dump it right then, So, if you're going to do it all the way. And so from that standpoint, that will certainly apply, when the time is right and I'm here. I mean, I'll do it all the way. It won't be just a side gig that was cool. I just want to do it because my dad did it. No, I'll be all in. And so that's one thing. And I think the other is nothing but positive. Obviously, the experience I had playing for him was awesome. I dreamed of it ever since I looked forward to it ever since I was little. I was his water boy and ball boy and all the way up. And I couldn't wait to play for him. And then it went so fast. I remember yesterday our last big hug in the locker room when it was over. It was like, what in the world? It's already come and gone. But I think what he would tell you and what he's told me too was, and he was a heck of a coach. He was a Hall of Fame coach and won a bunch of games and had a handful of undefeated seasons at 3 different schools. But they never won a state championship. But he's told me this, that his championship trophies are in his desk drawer, and they're the numerous letters that he's gotten over the 30 years of players saying, going back to what I was saying earlier about you want them to have that experience that high school football experience or something that they took with them, And he gets those letters with, hey, coach, I'm such and such. I played for you in '84, and I live in Utah. And just want you to know those high school years were, so I think that's, what he's certainly shared with me. And I think that's what it's all about, Well, hopefully we have some banners in here, state championship, banners and win the area and all that stuff. Hopefully we run out of room in here because I'm as competitive. Believe me, that's what we're going to try to do. But it is bigger than that. And I think if we can, all of us, part of this St. Michael school and part of the football program can get to where we can understand that balance, I just think that's the best route. Because it's not saying that winning doesn't matter. It's not saying, so you don't care. No. It's both. But that one on the long run, I think while they'll remember winning a state championship, hopefully they gain way more than just that. Then they can just say, yeah, we won a state championship when I played St. Michael in 2026. Hopefully they say, and this and this and this and this and this coach and my D coordinator and this experience and we learned this and we learned that and I'm a better man for it. Hopefully that they can expand on just the outcome of each season. We good? All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
Now, guys, he's got another meeting. He's going to meet with the team on Zoom. If you're watching and you're on our football team, go to our Zoom code. We sent those out to Coach Quarterpassi and Coach Nolan. So he's going to have a chance to meet with the team as well as with our interim coach, Coach Knapstein. He's got about 5 minutes to kind of mingle here, and then I'm going to have to whisk him away. Thank you guys for coming. God bless you.